Alright guys, so we're back again this week with another podcast. We're going to be talking about plenty of things happening around Marvel mainly, since they're the only ones dropping some news. From Doctor Strange 2 getting a director, to Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and actors/directors meeting with Marvel Studios. Now just a quick shout out to all the members making this possible. Some brand new content we have for you guys is of course the Venom audio commentary, which just went up, and more topics like Spider-Man and the Sinister Six, Final Fantasy VII Remake thoughts and in-depth look into some other games, continuation of Let's Plays, how Disney killed Alita 2, review of Mortal Kombat Legend of Scorpion's Revenge, Valiant's film universe, and way more. So now let's get to the main show. Just started off, no jibby jabber before this.
Well, there's nothing really to jibby jabber.
No, there isn't. Which brings us to this podcast, I guess. Welcome everybody, CBC podcast.
Sound more excited.
I was going to say, wow, that's a very much like straight to the point.
I did not have my energy drink. A lack of sleep. I've been playing video games to the point where I don't even like video games right now. Like, I'm just playing them because they're keeping me occupied. It is a terrible time. I'm literally just like,
how can you hate video games when Final Fantasy VII's out?
Well, so I was playing that, then I'm like, you know what? Persona 5 Royale is really good, so I went back to Persona.
Oh, that hurts me on a very deep childhood level.
And then, of course, I'm just sitting here, and I'm not even able to talk to him because I've been stuck in my basement making masks.
Yep, she's making masks for people. I covered that in a member video quickly, some of what's happening there. So it's been interesting. Snowed outside today, which was cool.
Again.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. It's slightly warmer here today. Despite being a single degree Celsius last night. It's like, what is going on?
God.
Why?
Yep. So that brings us to this week's show. Of course, I'm your host, Armin. Shout out to the few people that caught me a couple times in the last week on Call of Duty, and we were able to chat for a little bit. I haven't been playing as much as I normally do, just because, I don't know, I'm waiting for like a double XP weekend or something, then I'll grind away. Until then, just look out for me. I drop in occasionally, and of course, as always, I'm joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
Also, Tristan.
Hey guys, you can catch me at SJ Chance and play Final Fantasy VII. It's awesome.
Yes,
that's you two. I've been doing. I've done a little bit of that, but not in the last like 3 days. So I don't.
It's beautiful. I've watched over your shoulder for like a second.
It is pretty damn good. Like what blew me away was the fact that game in motion looks better than that Advent Children CG.
I will tell you right now, I watched that the other night just because why wouldn't I watch it?
Of course.
I got the real urge. I managed to dig it out of somewhere. It's dumb. It doesn't.
There's a fun fact to this is that Square Enix wanted to reuse the models from Advent Children, and the second that they looked at it, they went, let's remake them from the ground up.
Yep.
It's like, in fairness, both have some sloppy textures in it.
Oh god,
but the character models themselves are far better in them.
Do you guys remember the first Final Fantasy movie that went to theaters?
The Spirits Within or something like that?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I remember at the time watching interviews, because like I've always known about Final Fantasy, I've always known everything about it, I've just never actually played them. It was just kind of like one of those things like, I like this, but from a periphery. I remember them talking about the CG models. They're like, 10 years from now, these actors will be starring in all of the movies, and you won't even know that they're fake people. And it was just like so forward thinking, and now we're actually at that point where you're like, oh, that's a CG stand-in? I didn't know. All right, cool.
Or you look at it like Alita Battle Angel, and it's literally, it is a woman, and then they CG.
Yeah,
and you're like, wait,
a couple
what?
passes on her. And,
that's kind of like the story of Final Fantasy in general, because 7 originally was meant to be on the N64.
Yup.
But because Nintendo were like, no, we're staying with cartridges, they moved over to Sony and just destroyed everything.
I think it's like somewhere an absurd number of like 146 carts you'd have to have.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Well,
it's kind of like, here, the PlayStation's on 4 discs.
Isn't technically the biggest N64 cart, isn't it Resident Evil 2, which miraculously somehow they worked everything onto like a 80 meg or something? Like, what?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's like, it was that, and I think to a lesser extent, Mega Man Legends, which was Mega Man 64.
Yeah.
Like, they had to compress the hell out of those games.
Yep. Man, these are olden time kids where there's pictures today bigger than entire N64 cartridges. So let that.
Remember having to blow the cartridge to get it to work, even though they've proven, or they said that that's not supposed to work. But
then why did it work?
It works.
Well, yeah,
every time.
because you're just gonna get spit all on the little chip at the bottom.
But it worked, so I don't know. They're wrong.
It did work. It did.
Yeah, I just want purists to be quiet, because all I've been hearing for the past couple of weeks is, RE3 is not as good as it was back then, or Final Fantasy 7 wasn't as good as back then, because it's not the original story. They made too many changes.
I mean, yes, granted, Final Fantasy is shit. They've added in something. You take that one thing out, it is beat for beat the original. I mean, there is no difference.
It is until you know the twist about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's not for that one.
Yeah, it's not spoiled for people that might be new.
I'm not going to go into it. I'm just saying
I know what it is,
the whole thing, but I'm just saying.
I've got a theory, and I've spoken to a couple people about what's going on. And it's kind of like, you know what? I'm completely fine with that.
Well, that's kind of the thing with remakes. People want them, and then they get them, they're like, well, you shouldn't have done it like this. I'm like, look, I've platinumed, which is rare because I don't play games to that extent, Resident Evil 3, and I love it. And people are like, oh, but it's not the same. Even I'm like, it's not the same. I'm like, it's not, but it's completely different, but it retains what made the original kind of unique and special. So it's like, just go with it. It's, if you want the OG, go play the damn OG.
Yeah, it's even to the effect where reports came in saying that Capcom is going to do Resident Evil 4 remake, and then they're saying no, the original was perfect. And I'm like,
no.
Like the controls are kind of bad.
Even though Resident Evil 4 is Ermine and I's most played Resident Evil game, because we've purchased it on every console and every platform available.
That game came out like when we started dating, so like
we played every version. We played so many times to the point that we got every single costume unlock on every single one. So
I've literally I think I went back and played that game I think last year.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah, and it is rough. I will say that. It needs a remake. It nostalgia driven, and trust me, I love nostalgic games. I still play the OG Resident Evils once a year. Like I do 2 and 3 and 1 every other year and 0. I can tell you that some of those games do not age well, and 4 clumps in with that. Like, oof.
I'll say that the original Final Fantasy VII holds up really well. It's just the look of it.
Right, exactly.
It was rough in the day, so like 1997. So. It's just as rough as it is now. But.
Yeah, it is what it is. For people listening to this, what are you guys playing? Let us know, because obviously I think a lot of people are playing a lot, because we're seeing sales and numbers on streaming services and stuff go up. Steam was ridiculous how many users they had.
I think it was when people were doing the numbers on what's happening now is that a lot of people who didn't like gaming and are taking up gaming and are hunting for consoles and are having a hard time trying to find them.
The second the lockdown happened, the Switch went. It just disappeared.
Yeah, one of our friends just posted because she wanted to get a Switch for herself and her son, and she's like, "Wait, they're actually out of stock of these things."
Yeah. You got better luck finding a unicorn poop.
Yeah. The weird thing about that is that Nintendo's restocking the Lite, but people want the docking version, and that's completely out right now.
Yup.
Just get the Lite. Armin has a Lite and loves it.
Yeah, I like it. It's great. Plus, I don't have to blow it up on a big screen and burn my eyes out after, so it's pretty legit. So yeah, that'll cover it for our intro. Oh yeah, Shay. We didn't get to you yet. No, Shay's here.
Yep. You guys can find me on Instagram at Mache1602.
Did I get everybody? There's no one else around here?
Did.
All right.
Unless you want to talk about the ghost that's in the room.
No, what I'm going to pull is I'm going to go back through the archives and pull Sean quotes that we inserted to random podcasts and drop them in here. Sean from 5 years ago just drops it and goes, "That's crazy." Those were the days. So, yeah.
People are like, what is he talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Other kids are like, who's Sean? The legend that we speak of. That's twice in a... That's 2 podcasts in a row we've mentioned Sean.
I think the third one means we
try to get him in on this. Try to get him in on this. I'll talk to him.
Is he just going to appear if you mention him 3 times?
I'm afraid to try it.
3 in a row.
The third podcast in a row, he just drops it. What's happening, guys? So, let's get to the topics we have here. So, without Marvel Studios officially confirming it, Sam Raimi confirmed Doctor Strange 2 is his film. So, it's been a long-standing rumor since January, I want to say.
I mean, it's kind of like the third time it's been confirmed, really.
Yeah.
Like, if a trade reports it, it's kind of confirmed.
Right, yeah.
And I'm pretty certain it was, like, end of January.
Right, because Derrickson left in December, I want to say. So...
See, he left in December, he left in January, and the news was from February. I can't remember the exact timelines because everything now is just a day.
It is true.
At least it was confirmed around that particular type of time frame. So it's going to be interesting though, because like we talked about when we were first reporting on the rumor of this, like how is this going to be? Because Sam Raimi has like such a love for Spider-Man, and
he has such a unique. Like, this isn't an insult. People don't strawman argument me into this. His directing style and visual and the way he moves the camera and directs is the complete opposite of Derrickson in every single way. Like, it is completely different.
A unique fan base.
That too. Which
let's not mention.
I mean, I will say I am a Sam Raimi fanboy, but that's. Army of Darkness, I think, is one of the finest films ever made from so many different reasons and what they do with that film. So, like, I think Raimi joining this gives it that unique take where it's going to be a leap. And again, I'm not insulting the Thor directors or anything like that. I think we're going to see a style of leap that goes Dark World to Ragnarok, where you're going to be like, whoa, the multiverse literally lends itself to the way he directs this movie because it's going to look completely different and feel different than any other film. And like, I think there's something to that and why they went after him, which makes me really excited because I think Doctor Strange lends itself to a more unique style. Yeah, to a more unique, crazy look. I don't know how to explain it. You just have to watch Raimi's non-Spidey films to understand what he's capable of, which is very unique stuff. So
I'm just waiting 5th. For Bruce Campbell.
It's February 5th.
February 5th, Variety magazine is what reported the Sam Raimi's in talks.
Okay, so that's all right.
And then you had the whole thing of he's cancelled like con appearances due to filming quotation marks. Kind of like we kind of knew it, but it was never said.
Yeah,
it's a bit like Rosario Dawson and a sucker at the minute. Or Ahsoka, whatever her name is.
Yep.
It's like, we know she's in it, she said it, it's not official yet, but you know it's official.
Yeah. So, going around, I guess, what's everybody's thoughts on Sam Raimi? What do you hope they accomplish with this? What do you want to see? Pretty much everything, because now since he's in it, it's like, all right, now we can kind of talk about it as not a hypothetical, it's a actual scenario that's happening.
I'm going to make my predictions first. One, somehow... some way, Sam Raimi is going to get Tobey Maguire in this. In a suit, one of the two. It's going to be Tobey Maguire will be in it because he loves freaking Tony Maguire.
Yeah.
He's going to get Bruce Campbell because
Guaranteed.
He also loves Bruce Campbell. And I kind of hope we don't get the scenario of him going too crazy because like when he was with Spider-Man, he had such a crazy love, but also was due to Sony as well.
I was going to say the third one, Avi Arad effed him. We know this, so it's like yeah. So, but it's going to be interesting because he did do a phenomenal job with Spider-Man 2, right?
Which is still acclaimed to some people the best Spider-Man movie out there. So I'm really excited. I just kind of want to see who he's going to bring. Almost like how Taika was able to get Natalie Portman back into the Marvel world.
Right, yeah.
I can't wait to see like who Sam Raimi is able to bring.
Yeah, I think Raimi has some of that pull where, it's like if there's an actor or somebody that maybe is reluctant, he can get them in. Like Christian Bale, for example. He was always like, we're hearing, but he doesn't want to agree. And then Taika comes on and pitches him whatever he did. And, Christian Bale's on board automatically. So it's like, yeah, I want to see that as well. Mitch, what's your thoughts on this?
I said it before. I think when we first heard this news, just give me Bruce Campbell as the cancer-verse version of Captain America. It's too perfect to miss out. It's like, just do it. A Captain America that can't die, perfect. Just make it Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
That's literally all I want from the movie. They do that one thing, it's a good movie.
Just do this thing and it's over. It's good.
Maybe do some like Scarlet Witch stuff because I keep forgetting she's actually going to be part of it.
Yep.
Maybe do like the Demon Cthulhu or whatever the name is. Get really Lovecraftian with it.
I mean, there were those rumors and teases that we're going to get something they've wanted to do for a while that they didn't think. I mean, Shumagorath makes sense. That's a Lovecraftian. Yeah. Like, it's literally like a squid in space. So, that can work.
So hopefully no Tobey Maguire. No, I just don't want that in there. No.
I don't want it. Just because...
It's going to be him dancing. I think it's...
Oh, God, it's even worse now.
It'd be a little too distracting for me. That's the only reason. Like, I'm like,
I wouldn't want it like he's a full thing. So say if they're floating through the multiverse or something, like, that's where you put him.
You want... Okay.
I don't want, like, him actually in the film. I want, like, a cameo.
So you want like a Flashpoint style cameo the first time where he enters the Speed Force and he sees 90s Flash and it wasn't like it's just like on the wall, passes by. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just put a mannequin of Tobey Maguire in the movie. Wouldn't be the first time they've done it.
True. Just
I was gonna say that mannequin's laying around somewhere. Like
it's probably in Sam Raimi's house and he's dusting it off right now.
I guess Tristan, what are you interested in from this? What do you hope for?
I just want a good movie, but less campy. Because from what I've seen from like Spider-Man and looking back on some of that stuff, it to me personally doesn't really hold up that well. And then
I can't imagine there being the campy side just because it's got to fit with everything.
I'm just like one of the things I hope, and then like it even magnifies from their fans, and like they don't want to. They want like a certain movie all around the way because, you know, apparently Raimi's movies are, you know, perfect and flawless, and, you know, you have to agree. Right. It's just like, I just want like a good movie that fits the overall narrative of the overall arc or phase from Marvel.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can pretty much agree with everything all three of you have said. I'd like a Toby cameo, but not Spider-Man or anything. Just a quick little nod to it, kind of like a, you know, Bruce Campbell in some of the other films, maybe even less than that. Just kind of give us a clever nod to that, because, you know, Spider-Man 2 mentions Doctor Strange, so just pay it back quickly in some sort of fashion. And I think, I don't want the campiness either. Like, obviously, you know, I've talked to death about the Spider-Man trilogy, specifically the second one. It has a certain vibe to it that I think would, like, not gel with the rest of the MCU, so I agree with you there. I just want them to let Sam Raimi do what he wants. And I have a feeling they will. Like, you know, because they let directors, as long as you fall into hit these beats, you can do what you want. And you can tell that from every single director they've let do their own thing. Like Taika. Ragnarok is a Taika movie through and through. He just got to hit the beats, right? So I think they'll let Raimi, and I think that's why he went to it. It's like, they'll let me do what I want, but I'll add a few little things of my own, and it'll be different than the first Doctor Strange, which, mind you, that's in my top 10 MCU films. I love that film. It looks unique, and it's super different from most of the other stuff. So I'm excited, you know. I want to see what they have to offer.
Also, like, get more Ditko stuff in there.
Yes.
No, we need a lot more of the Ditko and the Kirby stuff going on. So, and I think if anyone's going to do that, Sam Raimi's going to do it.
Truth. Yeah, he's. I mean, that brings it to that campy Spider-Man style. It perfectly would fit into that Ditko feel. So if you can put that in there, it makes sense, and I think it would work. So I guess that's our thoughts for now on Sam Raimi. When we get more, eventually, we'll talk more about. We finally know when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming. Just a little bit over a month from now, the final season. We have confirmation now that... so, not exactly... They were building up a relationship between Agent Carter and Sousa. It didn't go anywhere, but he's coming back. This takes place before Agent Carter, just so people understand. This is before. It's not during the setting of that show. It's about a decade
they're
before.
Not going to give you closure to Agent Carter at all.
No, they definitely won't, which, I'm okay with. It's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
I'm really excited by this. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think it progressively just got better as it went on. The less people watched it, the better it got, which is a real shame. That is the ultimate shame of this show.
Personally... Oh, sorry, Shay, you can go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I'm also just, really happy the fact that we're seeing Haley Atwell again as Agent Carter.
So it's currently rumored she might be a part of this, because only she's returning.
Be in it.
I know, but it's a rumor, so I want to preface that.
She's coming back.
She's coming back, guaranteed.
You can't not go into her time period, and because of the fact that I personally, I didn't know it was prior to her series, so I think we're going to have Ahsoka a little bit, and we're going to see Agent Carter for just a small
the first time they meet or something, like from a different point of view, maybe,
something like that. But I'm just happy because of the fact that I loved those characters, and we get to at least see them one more time.
Yeah.
Just one more time.
And I guess this kind of brings it to... Mitch, what did you want to say before I get to...
Oh, I was just going to say, the ultimate shame of S.H.I.E.L.D. was that they got 2 more seasons after the perfect ended.
True. Yeah.
Season 5 was the ending it should have had. Season 6 was okay. I'm looking forward to this one because it's just more S.H.I.E.L.D., but it kind of ended at 5 for me.
Yeah, it's
also where it kind of if you think about it, that was a different timeline. After 5,
yeah,
it really went. So
with that in mind, this season is obviously gonna. They said it concludes most of the running stories and things happening.
It can't conclude though. Ghost Riders.
I'm gonna say there's no way they're.
But what if they do though?
That
would be crazy.
I'd be very happy, honestly.
He shows up in the 30s.
They just kill him right there, so it's he's not getting his show now.
This is why. So, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. coming back end of May. I'm excited. It's obviously the reduced season. It's not a full 22 episodes, which is good or whatever.
So it's 13, isn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously just like the last seasons, which...
That means it'll be a lot less filler and just more it's here's the story, and we're done. So, with the 30 setting and all that, by the end of it, are they coming to the MCU proper, or are they just going to, are they going to do one of those things like some other sci-fi shows have done? It's well, we messed up the timeline so bad, we're just going to remain here and live here now and watch history go by.
What if they do this, right? The first half of the show is prior to Agent Carter. The second half, we get Chris Evans in.
I wish.
And you see that end game bit, or a little bit of that. And then that way you can kind of just make it everything.
So what they do is when they're dancing... We see it from the other point of view, and it's them looking through the window and Coulson fanboying.
Yes, exactly.
I'd be okay with something like that where they know Earth is okay. They're like, you know what?
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't exist anymore. They don't need S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's stay here.
Yeah. It needs something like that.
It does, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, Coulson's the LMD.
Yeah.
He's an LMD now. With all of the memories prior, so until he died, he has all his memories.
So, no, it's the update up until the framework. So the entire last season, he doesn't have.
Oh, okay.
It's the framework season. So, the entire last season we watch, none of that exists.
No, that I know.
So it's a little weird.
Yeah, so it's you have that. So you still have the fact that he was a fanboy of Captain America. He was there and helped create the Avengers. So you still have all of that. So imagine, his giddiness, his contained giddiness.
He just throws that little hollow shield through the window.
Yeah.
Well, no, when he actually sees Agent Carter, because he's never met her.
Now, what do you got?
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Also, what do you guys think about this one, which is something I want to happen just from a fanboy's perspective because I really like the actor? what if they get Dominic Cooper back to play Stark again?
Oh, do it,
yes.
please.
And how about this? Give them an episode or two where they go to the Stark Expo. Like, how cool would that be? That's where he is, and they kind of drop a few hints, being like, hey, that little display there you got, the red guy, is that Human Torch, huh? Like, kind of, you could reference Human Torch from when we saw him in...
Say the actual Captain America.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you sit there and you have Coulson being like, that's my car soon.
Yeah. Ooh, that floating car,
because didn't we see the car?
Lola.
Agent Carter.
Yeah. We did. We get the idea from the whole thing. They, allude to it, so...
But let's actually see it working properly now.
Yeah, I'm so hopeful that, they'll tie this up really nicely and bring in a couple of the TV elements and hopefully give us a good send-off to this show, because I know there is a good amount of people that don't like it, but, like, if it wasn't for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we wouldn't have got any Marvel TV show. Like, it showed the viability of these characters succeeding. And I know people automatically in the comments, but the ratings... The ratings don't matter anymore today. 2 million today equals to like 10 million before, because digital and all that, you can't account for it. Yeah. So
it's still it lasted for 7 seasons. So
yeah.
Well, also, like, think about it this way too. I feel like The Mandalorian would not have been a thing if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I mean, Disney's TV output of this quality would not be a thing if it wasn't for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You can trace all of it back to this, because it was a test ground for what can we do and will people buy into this concept. Like, and it was a hard concept to sell. Hey, we're a side story to the main universe, but it's not the characters you know, but we'll reference them, but then we'll do our own thing. And
then we'll have some characters like Sith and things like that who came in, and then you never see those other aspects, like Enchantress kind of characters, ever in the other things.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Do you think they'll bring in one more time? Do you think Sam Jackson appears? Like,
I hope so.
The last time. It's going to be like young Jackson, because if they're way back in...
Let's say
I think they're going to do
he'd
like...
be in the negative ages.
Oh, what if they do like the typical Nick Fury in the comics thing, and like they retcon Nick Fury a little bit, so he actually has been alive since like World War II.
That'd be cool.
And like he's an LMD now or whatever, like they kind of play about with that, like make it proper old school Nick Fury.
He's already been revealed to be a Skrull since who knows when, so sure, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yeah. But yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back. Safe to say we're all
super excited.
Excited.
Yeah. The moment like you were like, oh, it's the end of May. I'm like, yes, thank you.
It's the end of May for you guys. Sudden nose for me.
2022, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is ending for Mitch.
I put it this way, Runaways over here only ended like a month ago.
Jesus. Yeah. It's a little late, but yeah.
A little late. It's like half a year.
Yeah. So, with that, let us know what you guys think of the upcoming final season. Are you excited? What do you hope to see out of it? What do you hope Marvel Studios does? And these characters, do you think any of them will show up anywhere else?
Coulson's
and Quake?
going to teach the next stage of Avengers.
I'm saying, if anyone's going to show up anywhere, it's probably going to be Quake, I imagine.
Yeah.
I reckon this will retire Coulson properly.
Hopefully, yeah.
But I love Clark Gregg.
And retconning humans, just like make some kind of snide comment.
That's okay. Didn't Feige already do it when he was asked about it? He pretty much shrugs and just passes it off. So. That's true.
Just have Coulson like hack into Disney Plus and delete it off there.
That's an actual plot.
Then when you actually check, it's gone. No, do that.
Oh my god, real world meta. That's great. It's been dumped on Hulu instead. That's how you know it's not in continuity. With everything being canceled or delayed, San Diego Comic-Con looks like that's not gonna happen. Let's be real about it. It's not happening.
And there's talks at the minute that it's gone. They just haven't announced it yet.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Right now, for people who thought that it would magically show up, no, it's not. No. Currently, right now, it's like you can't. For me, anyway, you can't even like go to the store without having a mask that's mandatory.
Yeah.
So that's going to be what Europe's going in a minute. So
that's how for where we are in Vermont too. Like it's recommended, but not just everybody has it.
It's
it's different here. They're not playing around. Like, you will not be able to go into any stores if you do not have a mask or something to cover your mouth.
And the thing is, what I want to bring into the conversation here, and it's the main kind of takeaway from this, and it's like E3. It's very comparable. Mm-hmm. Once the studios realize you don't need a Comic-Con or a convention, it's officially over, right? Like, yeah, I mean, look, San Diego Comic-Con, I can't disclose the numbers or New York or anything, but we have people we know that work for them. I know specific people that work for people that are running some of these big booths. And when I tell you that they spend astronomical amounts of money on 100 square feet, like, you would be shocked to how much it costs. Now, imagine 3 to 4 times the size of that, and what you get back isn't really worth it anymore. They're going to realize that same thing when they just drop something, announcement digitally or something. It's going away.
It's going to be a little different because, for like Comic-Cons, because originally it was just for, comic nerds and stuff. So it might just go back down to that again without, the big name brands coming in and doing what they need to do. Because for people who don't know, getting like a booth or a table there costs a lot of money, and to get that stuff built for prop builders, they like charge a premium, like 300 to 400 times their going rate. Because if you don't know, some people who ask for like booths will call the prop makers and ask for their rate. They'll give them a general rate for hourly wages, but then they'll ask what's the occasion for, and if you say like for a con or like San Diego Comic-Con or E3, they'll say, oh, you get the con charge, and it's like 400 to 500 times.
And no, you can't lie about it. You're a corporation with a lot on the line before people mention, why don't they just lie about it? It's like, no. That's, like, what people have to understand is the prop makers that make these things. Like, let's say you go to the Marvel booth, right? Yeah. And 2011, I think it was, San Diego Comic-Con had, like, Thor's throne. That thing is not Marvel Studios. They give a reference to the people that build the set. That thing is constructed, brought there, broken down, and put away by nobody at Marvel. It is actually somebody else, a third-party exhibitor that they have to pay. And they charge an arm and a leg. And then Marvel charges for the floor space, and it costs a lot of money to put on a show like this. Then you got to pay for the theater, which is the IGN Theater, which is they hold 5,000 people and all this. And some of these costs right now, this year, we're going to see that, we didn't have to spend $30 million to go to San Diego and New York and all these conventions, especially at a time where we just learned that Disney's losing $30 million a day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, I think this is going to be like gaming, an industry style shift for conventions, and it's not going to surprise me if when things get back to normal, Marvel just does the thing they did a couple years before Age of Ultron, where Kevin Feige was just like, the fan event. It's going to turn to that from now on. Like, that's the best way to do it.
Right now, I just looked up San Diego Comic-Con's website, because I was like, okay, what is their things doing? So, on their top scrolling thing, it says the Comic-Con offices are closed. They're still working only via email. And they're pushing so hard their WonderCon at home. And I've been seeing a lot of advertisements for it. And they're doing, like, all those interviews and things like that, all from home offices now. So...
It's really cool from what I've seen, because I've gotten a lot of that and I looked into it. And what they're doing is they're making a virtual Comic-Con where you can get, exclusives, order them online, where it's a lot readily available. Then, we're only going to give out 10,000 copies of this. We're giving out as many copies as you can order, and we'll ship them out. So it's just one way to do it. But I don't know if San Diego can do something like that, because they're like hoping that the governor will allow them to go and make the con on a last-ditch effort, but it's not.
It's not going to happen.
It's not happening. It's
because isn't it currently? Is it a homeless shelter or is it a makeshift hospital?
most of convention centers are becoming makeshift hospitals.
Yeah.
Over here, because they even have
that's going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Even the fact that here, and we're in a smaller area that isn't as affected, like our fairgrounds, our college campus, room, their stadium rooms and things like that, or basketball courts, are all turning into makeshift hospitals. So it's like anywhere that conventions happen, even in our small state, are all being converted to something else. So it's like you have to realize San Diego can't happen this year.
So how many people go to Comic-Con on average?
They were expecting 150,000 people.
Yeah, there's no way. Who's gonna
I think that's over 10.
Want to squeeze into a tiny little building filled with 100,000
just for people who are trying to give out hope. Put this in perspective. San Diego Comic-Con is most likely canceled. A lot of other smaller conventions in California, I've been getting notifications for the past 2 weeks where cancel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cancel. Little ones go, the big ones go.
I was reading a thing where they're like, certain theater chains and events want to implement you must stand 6 feet apart and only a certain amount, and we'll let you in at a certain time, and they're thinking of applying that principle to schooling as well if this continues. Like, you can go to school and you'll be, 10 people in the class, but you got to sit this far apart, and you go for 2 hours a day, then the next... Look, that's kind of how it's going to go everywhere, so movie theater, San Diego, all this... that's not this year.
Earlier this year, right when everything really started to happen, and this is where the reality of things started to hit. We had PAX East, and PAX happened right when it hit here in the States, and a lot of PAX shut down. But you still saw so many people try cramming in there with all of the uncertainties of it. Mm-hmm. And it shows you, if people are sitting there, people would be smart enough and they would keep their distance. No, they wouldn't.
Well, it's they gave us press passes to a convention coming up where it was going to have a bunch of Marvel actors and all that, and we were going to go.
Yep.
And then the PAX thing happened, and I told Shay, I was like, we're not going. And you were still optimistic. I was like, Shay, we're not going. It's going to be dead by then.
I love the people that are still optimistic about things going on this year. It's like you have...
This was in March, though. This is before things started to really unravel, and that's when I was optimistic. And literally, the moment that convention shut down, too, and everything started, I'm just hoping, I'm optimistic that I'll still be able to go outside in May. That's at the point that I'm at right
now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's where we're at.
Actually, hold on. Before I laugh even more, which May?
Yeah. Let's preface the year.
I feel kind of it's really interesting on how everything is going. Rhode Island Comic-Con is a convention that we love going to, and earlier in the year we were actually planning on going because
we want to it's scenarios of conventions that you want to go, right? And you're like, it's coming out and they're inviting people and you want to go, but don't commit to it this year because you're not guaranteeing that you're going to make it, right? Even though the convention, like Rhode Island, they're still selling tickets and stuff. November, is everything going to be okay? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
All you've got to do is look at the theatre situation, right? Italy's not expecting to have theatres open until at least December, right? China's lost nearly 2,500 chains. So it's kind of, if they're going, conventions aren't going to hang around whatsoever. And if it's at that sort of a time frame, I think Italy's banned most mass gatherings until at least December.
Yeah,
at least, and that's just a kind of precaution thing. If it goes if it's not great until November, we're just going to extend that ban.
I'm optimistic that by the end of 2021, you'll start seeing small restriction conventions popping back up in the States.
Mm.
Yeah.
You'll see them pop back up. But the thing about it is that will people want to go?
Right. Yeah.
Well, that's the question, because they're going to know that people aren't going to really want to go. So do you bother even doing it?
Well,
Nope.
Armin and I, we had a discussion about it. Like, there's a possibility, say, when conventions start to come back up, that you'll actually have to sign a waiver prior, being like, you have a chance of potentially getting this virus.
Or when you buy your ticket, that'll be there.
Yeah,
You know, it'll be a disclaimer.
So everything's just going to be rebranded to RonaCon?
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
But I feel like they're gonna do slow kind of rollouts of them. They're going to force the fact that it'll be small amounts of crowds, and
Which then is counterintuitive to what these people want to do.
Yeah.
Like
I feel like they'll do by like, you know how certain panels are at certain times? Your ticket will be like, you're allowed in the convention, on the convention floor between 2 and 4. Like, there's your 2-hour block. You leave, here's the next 2-hour block. Like, so they can still...
So what did, like, say, like, someone like Marvel Studios and Hall H do at that point then? Do
You
you
ain't-
even bother showing up?
you don't
can't-
show up.
No.
That's a waste. That is
They would just
Yeah.
do everything digital at that point.
I was gonna say, do you just like make a little film and just like act like a theater and just play it over and over and over again every day?
right.
Probably.
And, like, you just get people in that way. But, like,
Here's what you do. Your next D23 that you were going to have, you're going to open up a D23 tab on Disney Plus,
Ooh.
and
oh,
you drop
that's-
videos on there with the top things. Being like, here's what's coming for the next 2 years.
Yep.
Tune in right now, and here you go, and it'll be here for you. Like
See, that's an interesting. Does D23 in Japan this year still go ahead?
No.
No, I have a feeling it ain't.
From what I've heard and saw, they're probably going to get shut down pretty soon too. So
Yeah.
Right, because you could, in theory, just make D23 a streaming thing on Disney Plus,
You really
but
can't.
Yep.
just do the Comic-Con stuff on that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, like, I've seen a lot of things are just going full digital. Like, you submit this. So say if you wanted to do a cosplay competition for D23, because D23 loves showing off the
The
cosplayers.
fans that showed it
and
are
the
hardcore,
fans.
yeah.
Be like, hey, if you have something, submit a little video of you, like, strutting your stuff in your outfit, and we'll judge that.
Well, I mean, Marvel already did that. They do that every year with San Diego and New York. Like,
Yep.
you submit stuff and they'll, like, you know, showcase it. And I think that's kind of the way of the future, honestly, is these fan events by the big studios, corporations, right? Like, it's kind of and it's a thing that already exists before people say that'll never work. Apple, Google, they all have them. They all
Yep.
have these fan-centric events that are huge. So,
Sony literally just had one to replace, was it GCD?
yeah.
What they did to the whole PS5?
Right, they
specs?
were going to do the game developer.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like the Photoshop crowd in the front.
Yeah.
well, the animated Photoshop crowd, because it moved a couple times.
Was it animated? I didn't see it move.
Oh, they moved occasionally,
Yeah,
yeah.
they moved a couple of times because people in the chat were like, "It moved, it moved."
oh
Yep.
my god.
It was like,
I was like, that is just flat. Like,
it was like the scene from Home Alone where he uses like the cardboard cutouts. That's how
Yes.
it looks. Yes. Let's reference that one.
Macaulay Culkin was actually there, just off screen, like, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one moving them.
So what we're telling you before we get off this topic is, yeah, Comic-Cons. We'll see how those go 2 years from now. And
If you have to ask if something's going to happen this year, the answer's no.
the answer is no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. There's been rumors. There's still rumors. There's people talking about it. There's people meeting with Marvel Studios virtually, which we know is a thing. Now, one of the most... is he the most fan-casted actor as Mr. Fantastic?
I think he, at this point, he's the most fan cast person in general.
Okay, so what's up with John Krasinski? What's up with him? Because apparently he's met Marvel Studios digitally, which is good news. That's
Yeah.
good news.
I think we all know what it's for, don't we? Let's be honest.
Do we?
I think we... Come on.
Moon Knight?
There's like one. There's only one role people really cast him as.
It's
like,
true. It's true.
It's really interesting, like, how they're getting a guy from The Office. Mind you, I've never watched The Office.
Is he from The Office? I've never watched that.
I've
Yeah,
never watched it.
Mm-mm.
I just know that's where he's from because the fact that I saw his little web show that he decided to make.
Oh, that good news thing.
Yeah, the Good News Station or something. Or Some Good News, that's what it was called.
That's the one, yeah.
Some Good News. And they were talking about how it was like his 15th anniversary of that awful haircut. But I digress. But it's interesting that Mr. Fantastic, a very serious character, but a family guy, but also kind of psychotic, depending on how you look at him, being played by a comedian. That's like the really interesting thing, but he can act because of the fact that he is in that action show that you like.
Oh, Jack Ryan?
Yes.
So, I will see you that argument, and I will raise you Chris Evans was a hot
That's true.
stud
Yep.
comedy actor.
I was
So
going to say,
That
I'm
is true.
pretty certain everyone of our age has seen not
Yeah.
another teen movie.
I will never argue it, because I was the most against Chris Evans ever, especially after Fantastic Four. I was like, he should never play Cap, and oh boy, was I proven wrong. So, like, I will never argue an actor
Oh.
is... Yeah.
I don't, but that's what's fascinating. Like
Yeah.
how well they're able to find these offbeat. Mind you, he's no longer really offbeat. If it was just him in The Office, I would say he's just offbeat.
He also directed A Quiet Place,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
he's a talented director. Do you think this could be a case scenario where he directs and acts?
Ooh.
No, I think it's purely just acting.
Pure acting?
I feel like it'll be acting,
wouldn't
and
want
then
him to-
they'll allow him to direct like episodes of shows
Yeah.
first.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him to direct a Fantastic Four movie. Like, yes, A Quiet Place is fantastic. He did a great job in it, but it's kind of like that was like your first one. Like, let's maybe get either someone a bit more experienced or another indie director and do it that way.
I got an idea. They should get Taika.
No, don't get Taika. Come on.
No, he's supposed to direct everything now for Marvel, okay? He's the go-to choice. Yeah,
I
no,
do love Taika though.
he's great. Like, it's a thing where John is he's a really good actor, and I do hope it's Mr. Fantastic because he could pull it off real well. But it could also be one of these things where it is something that maybe we're not expecting. Like, well, what if he shows up and he's just like, "Yeah, I've been cast. What are you, Nova?" What?
That'd be weird.
Okay. Nova's an interesting choice.
I forgot that he actually acted in A Quiet Place, so he
Yeah.
has acted and
Oh, God,
directed
yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah.
I could see if they are going to allow him, he'll be like a co-director, not like the primary, but he like
That could actually
helps
work.
direct.
I think you're asking for a fight on that one. Two directors are egotists.
Yeah, and also the
Two of them,
Russos, like, because the Russos were able to pull it off together.
Well, they're also brothers, and
Yeah.
they can have their bickerings, and you're like, all right, you're fine.
You either end up with the Russos or you end up with Kurtzman and Ortsy, where they botch Star Trek every step of the way.
And for a franchise that's never had a good movie,
Yeah.
let's just it's going to be safe. It's going to be by the numbers, Marvel. Let's just get it out there. Then we can do a bit something crazy in the second one.
So this is the first time we're possibly going to get a adaptation of Human Torch that Marvel doesn't have to fix later down the road.
Yes. They don't have to recast him and save his career. How about this one? How about he acts as Mr. Fantastic and you let him direct Doctor Doom?
Ooh.
So, because I think his style from A Quiet Place, the way he does some of that horror and darker scenes and character development with very minimalistic use of, well, anything really, if you watch A Quiet Place, I think he could pull off a good Doctor Doom, honestly, for directing that.
See, Chat's just given me the golden egg of this one. Have him as Black Bolt instead, and let him direct the Inhumans.
Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, actually, that could work.
You do it. He literally spent A Quiet Place not saying anything. So.
True.
I don't think though that they're going to do that. That would be amazing, but the fact that he has such a name now for himself, not just from The Office, but from Jack Ryan, from everything else that he has been in, I think they're going to give him more of a better primary role. Unless they want to try getting that fan bases to his fan bases to like the Inhumans, then they actually might do that.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's the thing, like the whole fan base around him and everyone fan casting him is kind of like, yeah, we need that type of person for Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So I've gone on a weird circle with Krasinski's read. It's like, first I didn't like it, then I kind of came around to it, kind of championed it. Now I'm like, you know what? I'll be happy with Krasinski.
Yeah.
I'd rather a bit more of a left field name.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Like a lesser name, but
everything else might be a lesser name.
I mean, if Krasinski is going to get Reed, there's only one person you can get for Sue, because it's the same woman that's been mentioned every time he's been mentioned.
Okay, so Emily Blunt has missed Black Widow, because originally Captain Marvel. Well, for Black Widow, she was offered the role, but they wouldn't give it to her because of another commitment that was going to take up, I believe, 4 weeks. So Marvel was like, we can't wait 4 weeks. We got to get working on Iron Man 2 now. So,
she also rumors they offered her clear for Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
The sequel.
Yeah.
Which, like, they want Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
So, like, you get Krasinski and everyone's at home and the meeting's virtual. You're going to talk to Emily Blunt at the same time. So.
Are they married?
Yeah.
Oh.
Uh,
I didn't know.
That's why they're fan cast together, because they're literally just.
My only issue with both of them is we're getting an older Fantastic Four.
So that means then they're going to cast their children because they have 2 daughters.
Do we mix it up a little bit and be like, hey, the kids were also affected in their origins as well?
Sure. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. As long as you can keep the core aspect of the Fantastic Four, which is the family aspect, then it's fine. Like, I believe they'll be able to do it, because it's the first time we're actually going to do that. And again, like, maybe you make Johnny much younger. Like, let's say if they cast both of them, right? And they're going to be... What would you play them off as in the universe? Maybe 40, let's say?
Well, how old's... Emily Blunt's 37. You could probably get away with, like, early 30s.
Okay.
Her age.
So
I don't know how old Krasinski is.
40.
Okay, so yeah, you can get off probably 35, yeah.
I was like, he does not look 40.
I mean, Chadwick Boseman's way older than I thought.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, Black Panther is old. Like, I didn't expect that. So, like,
How old is he?
Look it up, you're gonna be
That's what I'm
shocked.
looking up.
I was shocked when I found out.
So there's a reason why a certain line is brought up about age. No.
Yeah. I mean, I would be okay if they're played off as 32 to 35-year-olds, and then,
He's 42?
yeah.
He's turning 43
I thought he was
this
like
year.
28, honestly. I was like, what? That's insane.
Bro.
What if... So you cast them as 35-year-olds. Maybe you make Johnny like 25, maybe like very arrogant.
I'd try to aim around the same age as Tom Holland and the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
So that.
Maybe a year or two
Because Tom Holland's
older.
what, 25, isn't he? Is he 25?
Yeah. So
Is he 25 now? I'm gonna look that up.
He's definitely like 20s, mid-20s. He's definitely around that age.
yeah. So
He's 23, turning 24.
Wow,
Okay.
slap bang in the middle. Yeah.
So if you can get Johnny around that same age, so they could play off each other, that'd be nice. And then the Thing, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be CG.
Leave Schreiber. Leave Schreiber.
Liv Schreiber's perfect. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The only actor we will accept. That's it. And he's
Who'd you get for Johnny? Because we got the 3. Who'd you get for Johnny?
some kid that's unknown, just like Tom Holland was.
You don't get a Zac Efron.
No.
Why would
How
you
old
get
is Zac Efron?
hold on, I have a look.
He's got to be like 30 something, right?
I think he's
28
almost
to
the
30
same
something.
age as me.
30 something.
I'm going to say 33.
He is 32.
Okay, so there you go.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, that's
So, yeah, he
He's
might be
older
slightly
than
too
me.
old.
He's 2 years older than me. It's weird.
So yeah, I don't know. I would say give it to a young kid that could really use something, and you lock that kid in for eternity for very cheap, which is what they like to
How
do.
about we do do it for the lols. Get like Asa Butterfield or one of the other Spider-Man actors that was up for it.
Oh yeah.
Just be like, hey, you lost out on this one because you blabbed your mouth on Instagram. Like,
Logan Lerman finally got a shot.
So,
Here we
guys,
go.
guess
That's it,
who's
Logan
the
Lerman,
same
I think
age as Tom Holland, or around the same age as Tom Holland, but he looks like 100 years older?
No. Josh Hudgens cannot be 25. He looks like he's 40.
He was born in 1992.
No.
I mean,
Bro.
it's like the kid who plays Ned in Spider-Man. Like that dude's not old, but he looks like he's in his 40s.
He looks like he's 40. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially when he's got a bald head. It's just like, wow, you are
Michael
old.
B. Okay, so I'm looking up like it's the hottest, but all of these actors are under 30 years old. Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Don't get him.
Uh,
Robbie Amell is pretty good. He's good in Arrow.
Yeah, please no. Please no.
Hey, get Nightwing. There we go.
he
He's
looks
actually a good
lot
actor.
younger.
He's a good actor.
Yeah.
I like him. I liked him in Pirates, whatever the hell the last one was. So
Oh, you can get the kid who plays Babyface or Baby,
yeah, I was gonna say Babyface.
Yeah, he'd be a good
He is good.
especially because like he's
I'm just gonna go with get somebody unknown. Get the Fantastic Four going,
Yeah.
please.
You watch, they'll get the girl who plays 11 from Stranger Things for Valeria, just because...
they're gonna get Kick-Ass.
But he was Quicksilver.
I was gonna
yeah.
say...
God damn it, Shay! He wasn't that forgettable. He was underrated and great.
They could get the kid
Apologize.
from Stranger Things.
You must apologize now.
I'm sorry.
To the greatness
I forgot
that is
about
Age of
him.
Ultron, highly underrated, better than the original.
I'm actually kind of triggered that Armin hasn't once mentioned the actor's name.
Who? Aaron Taylor Johnson?
That's better.
Yeah.
I was like, has he forgot?
No, I'm a big fan of his. I like him a lot. So
I loved him in Kick-Ass.
apparently you forgot.
No, I remembered him in Kick-Ass, but I forgot. He was in Godzilla, okay?
Kick you off
He's
the
very
show now.
forgettable.
He was.
Oh.
He was Ultimate Quicksilver in Godzilla. So
Yeah, he was.
that's a reference.
Ugh, Godzilla. Jesus. Ugh.
Nope. We're gonna get Eggsy.
Taron Egerton.
I love him.
No, my vote.
No, I need him for Wolverine.
I need him for Wolverine. Yeah,
Really?
I need him as
Okay,
Wolverine.
actually, I'm okay with
I mean,
that.
he even teased it, and he's like, I don't know. No, he'd be perfect. And the
Yeah.
fact that Matthew Vaughn wanted him as Wolverine makes it just
Yeah.
accurate as hell. So there you go. Fantastic Four, John, hopefully directing or starring in it. Whatever happens, he's a good choice.
No,
He's
we
a
should
great
get,
choice.
he was in,
Oh, Cyclops?
okay, I forgot Cyclops, but no,
Ready Player One?
thank you.
Ty Sheridan. He's pretty
Oh
good.
no! He's been tainted for Marvel. We keep him far away.
Hey,
Yeah, we're
Sophie
next in movie
Turner,
they can
though,
use.
she's like, I'd like to go to Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. So I'm keeping it at. Yes, you would. Oh, God. So, yeah, Fantastic Four. Hopefully we hear some news that's fantastic
Boo.
soon. Shh, I tried, okay? Hopefully they don't doom us with a bad choice.
All right, let's actually leave it on a positive note. Who do you want for Doom?
As much as, you know what, that's the one thing I've never given enough thought. I have no clue.
See, because Doom, you can play as older, you can play him as the same age, but you have to get a talented actor.
Well, I would say Toby Kebbell was a really good casting for Doctor Doom in Fantastic Four 2015, but they botched every single aspect of it to the point where he's never recovered from that movie. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think he wants to ever be named Doom or Trash Man again.
I don't know, honestly. What do you think, Mitch? Who do you think? Who you got?
I've always liked Nicholas Castle-Waldo, whatever his name is. He played Jamie Lannister.
Jamie Lannister, yes, actually.
I did have another name, and I cannot for the life of me think what it is.
I think for Doctor Doom, you should try to cast European. Like, to get some
100%.
authenticity for it. You know, like, that should definitely be a thing. I mean, if this was Fox still, it'd probably be Dwayne The Rock Johnson, so I don't know. But,
Yeah.
you know, like, get somebody that can do that Shakespearean-style delivery. And,
Oh, that's the other name I think of. David Morrissey.
okay. Yeah? Yeah.
No. Can we get Littlefinger?
He could do it. Although he's...
Wasn't he in the running for Doctor Strange at one point?
Yeah. Which, he's a good choice, but I don't think I think I see Doom as a little bit bigger, like buffer.
Oh.
You know, like...
I'm going to say he's kind of Weasley.
Yeah. I mean, give him some gear for 6 months. He'll be on top of that, but, you know.
Ooh,
it's true.
Eric Bana.
Bana's not a bad actor, but he's tainted with Hulk 2003, so I don't know if I want that. Because then we're just going to get the Hulk 2003 fanboys, which, yes, there are those people that are like, that movie's underappreciated, masterpiece. No, it's not. It's garbage.
Done. Ewan McGregor. Because you can play him young, you can play him old, because nobody actually knows how old he is. Because he plays every age.
You'll get thousands of Obi-Wan Doom memes.
Yep.
I don't know if I can handle that.
I have the higher ground, Reed.
Hello there. So whoever you need has got to be a pretty boy, because you've got to, like, rip his face off.
Right, he's got to be a pretty boy for half the film, and then he's got to look like he has leprosy for the rest of his career, so...
Yeah.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh, I want him for Moon Knight. It's not going to happen, but I want him for Moon Knight.
No, he's good. But...
He may be younger, especially because he would be younger than,
Again, he needs at least half a year of cycling serious stuff in gym time to look like Doctor Doom, which is like...
I mean, he's got all the time in the world right now.
Yeah, he does.
That's true.
Let's get
True.
I'm like literally typed in Eastern
All right.
European famous actors, and there's...
We're gonna get Robert Pattinson.
No.
Yes. We're gonna get him.
Batman.
I don't care.
And he'll be forever Batman now.
Not according to the internet, because they're secretly reshooting the Snyder Cut.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
Shane,
they got
right?
Affleck back, didn't you know?
Yeah. So there we go.
They're gonna get Hugh Jackman, and he's gonna be Doom.
I wouldn't be opposed. He's
That would
not
be-
Eastern European, but hey.
That would be
I
great.
Australian.
That'd be great. Honestly, he could do that. And it's far enough of a far cry away from what's it called, Wolverine, that nobody will mention it. So
I think the reason
But you
why
can
they...
have his face covered most of the time. So
yeah,
Well, then good. Then he won't have to like do all this cycling and. All
he won't
that
have
stuff.
to work out to the end of time.
it's written in his contract he can eat more than just chicken. No.
Right, chicken and rice.
He will be so happy.
So
Doom just gets fat over the course of 3 movies.
right. God damn. So there you go. That's our discussion on everything Fantastic Four and Doctor. That has all brought us to the end of this podcast. We had 4 topics. Hopefully you guys enjoyed them. As always, hopefully there's stuff that happens to next week, and we'll have more on that. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, you guys can always find us at those social media things, and of course in the opener. Make sure, if you're a member of the audio commentary tier, me and Mitch slowly descent into madness watching Venom.
That's absolutely Shay's fault.
How is it my fault?
You're the one that wanted to watch
We
it.
put it on
You're
there
not
because of
even
you,
there.
but then this all happened, all this bullcrap around the planet, which now you have to make masks, which made me and Mitch do it, and oh man, that...
Can I just point out, the 2 shittiest movies we've had to watch recently are both ones Shay's wanting to watch and hasn't even been there for.
I know.
I'm
I'd like to
sorry.
point that out.
I had to sit there and make life-saving masks.
I am making you do a Sean, and you're going to watch Dylan Dog 3 times in a row.
What is a Dylan dog?
Exactly. You're going to watch Dylan Dog Dead of Night, or whatever how that
Wasn't
movie
that
was
a
called.
Brandon Routh movie?
Yes, it was. It was like an obscure Italian comic from the 70s. Oh, God. So, yeah, hopefully you guys go enjoy Venom. We enjoyed it.
You guys got through it.
We got through it. Next, though, it's way better, because we're going to do Endgame for everybody. And
Wow, it didn't even try to hide it.
Nope. I'm just telling people
threw it out there.
quality is coming. You can rejoice, okay? It's going to happen, and after that, we're going to do the best live-action Spider-Man movie ever made. Do I need to say what it is?
I was trying to think if we did Homecoming or not. and
Yeah,
I was like,
Well, it's far from
Spider-Man
home.
2,
It's far from home. And then we're going to do something in the summer going into looking back in a sort of retrospective audio commentary, which me and Mitch talk about a little bit. So stay tuned for that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this show, and we will catch you all next week. Later.